losing over. You a queen when I less than I'm a gozy. Owamie, Owamie. Owamie, Owamie. Owamie, Owamie. Owamie, Owamie. Girl, you're such a powerful woman.
Hi ninjas, how are you doing? It's your girl Owamie, aka Miss Fear Focal, rolling back for our entertainment. If it's the first time joining me, most definitely welcome. Please do make sure that you subscribe and obviously hit the bell. I absolutely love you. Now my ninjas, of course you guys know this is Owamie Entertainment and I will definitely give you guys the scoop shibaba, okay? Now last week, if not last week, I made a video and I was talking about a lady that was on social media and she was talking about her soon-to-be ex-husband who is Nigerian. I do not know if you guys remember this, but let me go ahead and just insert this clip.
I'm at the police station this morning. I just came to fetch the protection order that I've done against my husband. He has been threatening my life that I will die an untimely death due to the reasons that he doesn't want us to get divorced and share properties. He has been threatening me due to the things that I know that he has done. This man has tried his ultimate to remove me from my friends, from my family. But it has finally come out. Nothing is hidden forever. I have been married to a murdering ritualist. This man used our 2-month-old daughter that passed away last year without being sick, without being anything, for money rituals. Since that last year till now, he has bought cars, businesses, all in the name of money rituals, all over my daughter's body, my daughter's blood. Anybody that sees this video, please know that I am fearing for my life. He has promised that I will die before my time. But God, I serve a living God. He cannot kill me. He cannot get away with it. He has tried to manipulate and turn people against me for years. He has done terrible, horrible things. But I will still make videos explaining year by year on how I was married to a ritualist and I did not know. But now I know. You can't touch me. You can't do anything to me. God is bigger than you. Last night he had sending messages to my parents, threatening them, telling them that we want to get things that I never worked for. He picked me up from the gutter. This is the same man that has been using my miscarriages, my child. My daughter died last year when she was a healthy baby at 2 months. Where after my daughter died, this man wanted no justice. He just wanted me to even forget that I even had a child. Asking me that he can buy me anything, he can do anything for me, just for me to just forget. Anything. But just for me to stop asking questions and stop wanting to know what happened to my daughter. Only for in a space of a couple of months. It was a year in January since my daughter passed away. Before then, he has bought cars, he has bought houses, he has got farms in Nigeria, all using the blood of my daughter. You have no power over me. That untimely death that you think you are building for me, it will never happen. All your plans will never happen. I am not yours to kill. My son, you will not take him to Nigeria to continue your money rituals. You are lying to yourself. To anyone who knows this man, know that he's a ritualist. A money-driven ritualist. Ask yourselves questions. In a space of a year after my daughter passed, what has he been doing?
Now, in that video, you guys know I did actually say that if you'd like to come, you are welcome. And guess what, honey? She did. She absolutely did. Please welcome the beautiful Linda.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Well, I'm the, I guess.
You look even more beautiful in person. Guys, you have no idea how gorgeous she is.
Yeah.
You look so beautiful.
I try and clean up well.
And very different from the video for sure.
Yeah, I was at my worst at that point.
Ne? I would actually like to applaud you of the fact that I think, if I'm not mistaken, anyone that I've ever said, hey, if you want to come, you can come, and you actually reached out. So I do have to say that I respect you, and I actually respect your courage. Welcome. Are you nervous?
Yeah, I'm a little anxious.
A little, ne?
Yeah.
But do not worry. So you guys obviously saw the video. I wanted to refresh your mind, but that's mainly what we're going to be talking about today, your story. However, before we get into that, I would like to just know, just a bit, who is Linda?
Well, who is Linda? I'm a simple person. Grew up in Joburg. My dad was from KZN. He's late now. My mom is still there. I had a normal upbringing. My parents were okay. I wouldn't say we were rich, but we were okay.
Yeah.
My dad has a house here in Joburg and a house at home in KZN. Normal childhood, normal upbringing. What more can I say?
Where did you grow up? Where were you born? Were you born in Gauteng? Were you born in KZN?
I was born in KZN.
You were born in KZN.
Hence my name.
Okay. What is your name? Is it Linda?
Lindo Kuhle.
Lindo. What a beautiful
But
name.
the original name was Lindy Mali. Because apparently my mom was at home in KZN and they were waiting for my dad to send money from Joburg for my mom to go to the hospital and give birth to me.
The older generation definitely named you based off whatever was happening. If you want to know.
So that's the name my grandmother gave me. So they just switched it up to Lindo Kuhle.
Which is more beautiful in a way. Yeah. Well, I would like to just formally say welcome. Feel comfortable, obviously. Now let's get into the story that has been trending, that has everyone talking, right? There's a video, obviously, that we watched in the beginning. Please tell me, first of all, what prompted for you to make that video? What was going on in your mind that day?
Well, prior to me making those videos, firstly, I was already being threatened.
Okay.
It got to a point, because we've been going through trying to figure out on how to get divorced, which is what a lot of people didn't understand. That prior to me even knowing all the witchcraft and all of those things, I was asking for a divorce and he was refusing. To the extent that I was begging even his family back home to reason with him. And I explained that things don't work the same way that things work in Nigeria. Like, divorce here, it's not about your feelings. A judge is not going to listen to your feelings or my feelings. They'll do things the right way. But he wasn't hearing it. He just expected me to just pack up and go back to my mother's house. And the more I tried explaining things to him, the angrier he became. Because prior to the videos and everything, we had gone together to see lawyers. Not once, not twice. And the more they explained how the process works here, the angrier he became. Because I don't know, maybe in Nigeria, when you get divorced, they just tell the woman to go back to your father's house, and that's how things work there. But unfortunately, that's not how things work here.
Yeah, this is South Africa.
Yes, and you can't hold me hostage just for your own benefits. Because throughout the marriage, it's not like it's been rosy. It's not like things have always been good and nice. I know that in social media, people are thinking, I'm just this gold digger that wants to snatch away this guy's hard-earned money and stuff. No. All the things that people are seeing on social media, even the fancy cars, it's just last year that he got the fancy cars.
So Okay, so let's just get like backtrack a bit, ne? Let's talk about where did you meet this guy and when?
Okay, we met back in 2017. I was out with my sisters. We were at Carlton Center, Spur in Carlton Center. So it was just me, my elder sister, one of my cousins, and me. So he was there with one friend. They approached our table, we exchanged numbers, and then we chatted for a little bit, maybe for like a week. We chatted, we made a date to meet up. We met up, went to News Cafe. So I remember when we got to News Cafe, he was still there with his friend. So fine, it was now the three of us. We sat, we had some drinks, though he wasn't really communicating or anything because I was talking to his friend more than I was talking to him. But I just took it as maybe he's just a shy person. So fine, we had a ball, we drank, we got sloshed, we went back to his place. Though we didn't do anything that night because I just don't do that. If I've been drinking, I want to do things on a sober mind.
Okay, so wait, just for me to understand. So you were in Carlton Center
Yes.
at Spur with your cousin.
Yes.
And he was there with another friend.
Yes.
And then approached your table, you guys started talking, you guys started drinking. After that, you went back to his place.
No.
Okay.
We met at Carlton Center, we exchanged numbers,
Okay.
and we left.
Okay.
And we spoke, just chatted for over a week.
Okay.
Then we
You
had
met
up.
again.
Yes.
Okay, that's
Then
fine.
we met up again.
Okay.
Then that was, yeah. We met up, went back to his place after drinks and whatnot. We slept. Then in the morning, we did the D. We did the D, we used protection, the condom busted, and yeah. So following morning, went back to my place, supposed to get morning afters, which I never did. Then a couple of days after that, I tried like communicating with him. But then every time I would call, we'd talk like for like a few minutes and he'd pass the phone to his friend. So he did it like the first time, the second time, the third time. By the time he did it the third time, I was like, okay, maybe this guy was just looking for a one-night stand type of vibe.
Yeah.
So I deleted, I blocked.
Okay.
Then I forgot all about him and life moved on. To then, almost a month later, he contacts me out of the blue with a number that I don't know. And he explains that it's me, so. Oh, okay. And he's like, I've been looking for you. I've been trying to find you. There's something of mine that you left with. Something of yours that I would left with. I was just confused at that point in time because I didn't even understand what he was talking about. So he was like, no, can we please meet and I'll explain things to you. I've checked up with all the other girls that I've been with and I think you're carrying my child. Please, I just want us to meet and talk. Meanwhile, I didn't even know that I was pregnant myself. So after the call, I went, got a pregnancy test, and shockingly, I was pregnant.
Were you not taken back of the fact that this guy actually said you left with something of mine, first of all, and that he says he checked with all these other girls, and I think it's you?
Firstly, I hands up saying that I was just like, oh, okay, because I didn't even know that I was pregnant at the time. So when I bought the pregnancy test, I did the pregnancy test and it came out positive. I did another one, same thing. Then I was like, okay. Then, true, we made a day, we met up, and he was like, yeah, he hasn't been able to sleep. He knows that I'm pregnant with his baby and please, he's begging me I shouldn't get rid of the baby. He'll do everything that I want him to do. So then the first thing I said to him is, bruh, I don't even know you. You don't know me and I don't know you. So I don't even understand on how this can work, you know, and pregnancy it's a big thing.
It's a huge,
you know, and it's now a worse thing if you guys don't even know. We didn't even have a relationship.
You never even went on a proper first date.
You understand? So we talked and I told him that I needed some time to think things through. So he left. Then we went for the first doctor's visit. I went in, did the sauna. Okay, truly. Now it's a real thing. I am pregnant. And I sat him down and I was like, bro, now I've been a single mom. And I don't see myself repeating that again.
So wait, you have another child?
Yes.
A daughter, because I saw on social media,
Yes.
right? How old is she?
She's 16, turning 17.
She's 16, turning 17
Yes.
now. Okay. And where's her dad?
Well, that's another part.
Okay.
The dad passed away while I was pregnant.
Oh, I'm so sorry for that.
It was just in a strange way. He had a headache, and within 2 to 3 days, he was late.
Okay.
And yeah, I continued raising my child by myself.
Was he a South African?
Yes,
The dad?
a Zulu man.
A Zulu man.
Yes.
Okay. Wow, I'm so sorry for your loss.
So with him, I had a lot of support because his mom really was there.
Okay.
She like, wow, yeah.
Okay.
Until date, she's still the
Yeah.
biggest supporter.
Okay. No, that's fine.
So we sat, we talked, and he was like, okay, we should just give each other a chance and get to know each other. The plan was to move in together and use the 9 months of the pregnancy to kind of get to know each other before baby comes. So we moved in together. By the time we moved in together, I think I was around 8 weeks. So we moved in together, and yeah, that's when I started experiencing a lot of things, because he had a lot of women in his life. And I don't think he really understood what it means to be pregnant, because to him it was more of, you've got a roof over your head, there's food, and I'm out. So he was basically still living his life
As a single man.
Yes, as a bachelor. Girls are calling him, girls are shouting outside of the building. When we moved in together, it was a 1-bedroom flat that he was living in.
A 1-bedroom or a bachelor?
A bachelor.
A bachelor.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's your sitting room, your bedroom, kitchen, and bathroom.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
So when we moved in together, his furniture was old. So I moved with all my furniture.
Okay.
And then he sold off and gave some of the things to friends. We moved in. Then that was an adjustment for me, because now I don't know this person and there's this flood of women that are just around him. And the more I complained about it, he kept on saying he's trying to get rid of all those girls. I just need to give him some time. I need to understand that, which I did understand that, okay, he had a life.
This happened, yeah, and it was fast.
Yes.
Wow. So which means that was it sweet at that time to can convince you? Or is it also like, because I know there's a difference between someone that maybe believes in something, like it's like, okay, I don't believe in abortion, so I can't have it, and then there is, well, I could, but if you're saying that, you're going to take care, then you convinced me, which I want to just understand, like, more of which side would you say you leaned towards? Was it his actions that convinced you, or it was also a combination of the fact that you also maybe did not believe in,
For me, it was more of, like, he pleaded his case, like,
Okay.
he had an ex that he dated for so long, she couldn't fall pregnant, and he really sold, like, this is my first child, and, like, please just give me a chance to do this,
to be a father.
And yes, and being a single mom, that was him reassuring that he's going to be there, he's going to take care of me. I leaned towards that, okay, maybe since he's the first time dad, and he's the one who even contacted me and knew that I was pregnant, and, So living together was horrible, to the extent that I was super stressed during my pregnancy. By the time I was at 4.5 months, I started attending clinic at, I think, 3 months. By the time I got to 4.5 months, I went to the clinic for just a regular checkup. While at the clinic, my water broke. Clinic sends me to the hospital. Get to the hospital, the water even breaks even more. Then they take me in, baby's still too small. And they check the fluid and they're like, okay, you can still try and keep the baby for as long as possible. Mind you, the fluid is still coming out. So now I need to stay in the hospital so they observe, they check and,
Yeah.
So I spent the first month. So when I got clocked 6 months, I'm in the hospital. At 6 months, they're like, okay, let's try and induce. Try inducing. They tried it like 4 times. It didn't work. Then the baby's heart rate went down. Then it had to be an emergency C-section. So fine, they do the operation. Operation happened early. I was around 2 in the morning. I was out at theater around 4 in the morning. So the following day, it's now morning. It's now I can, after your thing, you need to stay in that position for like 8 hours before you can move. So fine, morning came to visitors. And I remember because at that point, all I wanted was just to get away from him, His first visit, when he came to the hospital, I actually told him that I need to talk to you. And we strolled, we went outside, and we sat down at Betsaqwala Hospital. We sat outside, and I was like, I don't know whether it was the hormones that made me agree to even moving in with you and all of that. But I feel like at this point in time, those hormones are gone and I don't see me and you working. And still at that point, he started crying and he was like, no.
Like crying tears?
Yeah, he was like, no, he already dreamt about this. He knows that this is what I was going to say. He knows that there's a lot of things that went wrong, but I should please give him a chance. And I was like, dude, I'm not going to keep you from your child or anything if that's what you're worried about. I just feel like me and you can't work. I feel like we're from different planets. Because with arguments, with fights, he's a person that never wants to be in the wrong or never knows even how to apologize.
Would he go under the belt whenever you guys would fight? Like
below the belt. There's under the belt, there's
underground.
Like
hell.
Dungeon.
Wow.
You understand? So you can't question him on anything. So fine. From the hospital, he now begged, please just give us a chance and let's see how things will be. I was, again, fell for it. Fine. 3 days after my cesarean, my operation busted. It's the baby ward. Remember, my baby is a premature. So it burst opened, and now they had to reopen my operation. They reopened it, pass and everything. Infection. Now, I stayed another additional I spent the first month and now spent another month plus, almost going to 3 months in hospital. Now it's stress wounding. I can't even go and hold the baby. I can't even, I literally get to where the kids are and they can't let me in because it's a room full of premature babies.
They can't have someone with infection, but would they
with an open wound?
Would they bring the baby
to
just breastfeed?
Bring to the mirror, to the glass. You just look at your baby and they put him back.
So what was the baby feeding? Was it formula?
It was formula at that point because now I can't go in there. Hospitals, they don't even do your whole breast pump and whatnot. And I'm in a public hospital. It's not a private hospital.
And for almost 3 months being there, I feel like I would go crazy. But was he being supportive at that time?
At that time, I don't know.
Let's say maybe to 100%, you would say the effort, you would gauge it to 30,
because
50.
Now, by the time I already told him that I wanted to leave the hospital and go home. So he was at his pretend best behavior.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, he'd come to the hospital, bring us food, and even with that, we used to fight a lot even during then, because he'd always come when visiting time is finished or you just have 10 or 15 minutes and I can't hold the baby. He's the only person that can go in there and hold the baby. So we thought about that, and then the more you argue, the more he'll make excuses and stuff.
Okay.
So that passed, came out of the hospital, went back to the flat. Then we moved in 2018 from Alberton to Sky City. Then Sky City was still new, slightly bigger place. It's a house. We have a baby because what he had before was too small.
What year was that when you guys moved? Was it
2018?
2018, okay.
2018 we moved to Sky City. Sky City.
But wait, and I'm so sorry to interrupt you, because I want to find out, does he have a job? When you meet this guy, what job is he jobbing? Is he a jobber? Is he a businessman? What business is he into, if it's business?
He's in the movie industry. Okay. So, yeah, that's what you shooting movies.
Okay.
And because when I was pregnant, there were times that he used his place to shoot and whatnot.
Okay.
Then we moved to Sky City. When we moved to Sky City, by then all of his friends were booming. And one thing I can say about his character, he doesn't want to be outshined. So we moved to Sky City. Then his friends are complaining, this woman is the one that made you move to the middle of nowhere. They can't come and visit him because we live in the middle of nowhere. By then, everyone around him, they're doing big, huge things. Huge things. By then, friends are buying fancy cars, houses, and now his clique is kind of looking down on him. Money is not really there. We just had an accident in that same year, wrote off the car that he had.
What car was that?
It was a BM.
Okay.
7 Series.
Okay, well, it's a good car.
Yeah. It wasn't the latest version.
Okay.
It was old school.
Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't anything recent.
Fancy.
Yeah, it wasn't anything fancy, but it was a nice car.
Yeah.
We wrote off the car. From there, we started being Johnny Walkers now, no car. Where we live, it's a new area. There's no mall, there's no anything. So if you want something, you need to...
And I think back then, Bolt wasn't as...
It wasn't there, but
it wasn't as now.
Sky City was a new place.
Wow.
So even Bolt and whatnot wasn't even there in the area.
Wow.
So literally it's Kumpi. So yeah, now hustled, got a Audi.
How long did you guys walk?
Not that long. I think it was like 2-3 months.
Okay.
Then he got another car. It wasn't in good shape, but...
It was a car.
It was
an
car.
upgrade from legs. Yeah.
So he got a car. 2018 passed. Even that 2018, because in Sky City now, this guy was busy with the neighbors.
Like neighbors, like in terms of like friends or girls?
Girls. So I don't know, because people they didn't even know that this guy was living with the person. Because I remember when I first noticed that, wow, all the girls in this place know this guy. So this girl comes to the house and she knocks and, hi, I'm looking for this Nigerian guy that fixes phones. Nigerian guy fixing phones. Hi, Sissy, you must have the wrong house. And she's like, no, he lives here. He took my phone to go and get fixed. Took your phone to go and get fixed. He's not home at that time, so I'm just there puzzled. I'm like, I don't know who you're talking about, but there's no guy who fixes phones here. Then I call him. There's a girl here saying...
you took a phone to fix.
And then it's like, No, yeah, I did take the girl's phone to go and get fixed. She just came up to me and asked me if I know anybody that fixes phones. So I took the phone to go and get fixed. Okay. Then at that point, there was one of his friends that was homeless at the time. So we started living with him. So
how many bedrooms?
It was a 2-bedroom.
So you have a newborn, your boyfriend or your baby daddy, and now his friend that is male.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So friend moves in. Now, every time they go out, it's all those girls in our street. Then he would use the friend as
to say they are
the
his.
excuse.
Okay.
Then it got to the point you were finding condoms. He'd hide condoms in the car. He'd hide condoms underneath tires where the car battery is at.
How are you finding them at the car battery? Where are you looking?
I have this sick intuition. I will just literally walk up to the place and see what I needed to see.
Wow.
And confront him, show him. He will deny it.
He will say you put them there. I don't know anything about them.
He doesn't even know what you're talking about.
Wow.
Or it was his friends.
That put
Or
condoms in
he has never done that. Why would he hide condoms there? Am I even being serious? Like, he would deny something to the point that you feel like you're crazy. Like you are literally a crazy person.
Wow.
So that went on. 2019, 2018 things were still bad and whatnot. Moved into 2019. 2019, by then, everybody's living the La Vita Loca.
Posh life.
Friends are not inviting him to things. If he calls friends will tell him, we'll send you the location. Like now, you're not in the big boys league. And one thing about Nigerian men, it's always competition back to back. So I remember in that 2019, there was a day that one of his friends threw a party. Mm-hmm. So we attended the birthday. Then there was no Gucci, LV and all these things. They were dressing normal stores, your H&M, your Mr. Price, your normal clothes. Then the group that I'm now introduced to, the women won't even talk to you. They won't even associate with you.
If you're not wearing the LV and the Gucci,
for them to be friends.
Are they also South Africans? Wait, you mean like if you are not wearing like your Gucci and your designer, the women would not want to like sit with you and talk to you?
You don't even exist.
Like, what is it? They think poverty is gonna jump to them.
Like, you don't. It's very bad being in those groups because, the shaming is really there, because now you need to maintain an image.
And obviously that has to put a lot of pressure on the husbands because most of their wives don't work.
Yes. And now you're in the big boy league. Men are buying big fancy cars for their wives. Wives are looking like the shirts the kids are looking, because they're very petty. They will check your child's label.
Yeah?
Like
okay, let me not talk about violence, but you're not touching my child's anything.
If you're still in the fake brand and coming,
like
they'll tell you
would
just
not
walking.
Fly.
They'll tell you just walking in with your fake Gucci, with your. So this particular party, we're still dressing our normal clothes. So there's a jersey that we had bought in town. If you know small streets, when they bought some jeans, tops and whatnot. And so the jersey, we didn't even notice that it had like South African names on it, like your Sfiso, your whatnot. So when we rocked up at the party, the friends went in crazy. They started reading the names on the jersey he was wearing. They marked the living shit out of him.
Did you see him? Like, did you see that happening? Oh, okay, he
Remember
told
that
you.
with
like
the gang.
Yeah.
There's always that separation.
The
Women are
wives?
one side,
Okay.
men another side. That's how parties go.
Yeah.
So literally, if you are there at a party and you don't even know the ladies, you are on your phone, bruh. Nobody's got your time.
Wow.
And even the women, they know that, okay, side chicks, wives, hoes, it's normal. We know.
So, so you would actually get to the party, and then there's like divisions. These are the wives. These are the
Yes.
side chicks. And in the next,
And if you've not been wifed, like you are the wife,
you are not.
sit
You are a
with the
side chick. That's a girlfriend sits with the side chick over there because you're not
the
wifed.
girlfriends, the side chicks.
But then when you guys now meet again, because obviously I'm sure like in one event, the one that brought
they
a
don't
side
even
chick
exchange
today.
numbers with you. Are you joking?
So like let's say maybe we're going there, right? Like I'm married to a Nigerian, you're married to a Nigerian, and then my husband brings his side chick on this event. Next event we meet. You can't even tell me that, yo, Pela, last time your husband was here with his side chick.
No.
Wow, you guys are trained well, hey?
No.
Mina, my mouth runs like a tap.
At times they tell you before you even go to a party, like when you get there, shut up and mind your business. Or so guy is coming with his side piece.
Like mind your own
Yes.
business.
Like keep it to yourself.
And you know if you
So
speak, they
for
won't
me,
take you.
I think part of the main reason that his friends even hated me that much was I couldn't stand that. I couldn't allow that. Like if there's parties at our house, now if I know your wife, I know your wife. You can't pull up with your side chick.
Okay. Yeah.
So some of the hate just came from there also.
Yeah.
So after this party, we went home, and that was the last time we wore that top, and that was the last time we did ordinary shopping.
But how was he like when you guys were going home, or when he told you that they made fun of me?
He was mortified. He was. Remember that this guy, before his friends became the bougie and the whatnot,
Yeah.
he was the elite in the
Okay. Wow.
group. So it's like him
these
now
are boys, and now
downgrading.
they are making fun of me.
You
Wow.
understand?
Okay.
So that's when we stopped now all this street shopping and whatnot. Because for me, to go and buy a top for 25K was like, dude,
absurd.
we could use that money to do other things. But now, he has an image to uphold. He has an image. Even with our son, it got to a point where he said, no, this boy can't be wearing Mr. Price ornaments and whatnot. He's a big boy now. Because if he goes to a party, believe your friends are checking your wife out. They're checking. So it's not like you're getting all of these fancy things because this is where, no.
It's for
He's
people.
Yes, and him upholding
The
big boy
status.
level.
But now I'm concerned. Like, okay, you guys were now driving, like, you know, I'm sure a second-hand Audi, which wasn't that good. You guys get to small streets, you get those shopping, and he is made fun of. Now you guys have to buy the top. Is at 25,000. Where is the money coming from? Because the money wasn't there.
That's where things become tricky.
Okay.
So remember that I don't have access to anything.
Okay.
So when we first met, he didn't have a permit, he didn't have anything. So we put me on his permit as his life partner.
Okay.
This was before your whole lobola and whatnot.
Okay. Which year was that when he
2018.
did that? Okay.
2018, we did that. He got his permit. He was able to open bank accounts and all of that. Mind you, I'm on business documents. I'm on everything.
Because of course he got the permit since you co-signed to be his life partner. Okay.
So from there, you know, the funny thing is you don't know when the money is coming in. I had no access to the accounts. I had no access to anything. I am just there as a doll. So when money started spraying up, I don't know. This is a person who will go out. I remember when he bought a Land Rover, a Supercharge. When he bought that Land Rover, he traded the car that he had. He came back with the Land Rover and he said he wanted to surprise me with his car.
Okay.
Didn't understand how that is a surprise to me, but yeah.
I'm sorry to laugh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Came
So,
home.
like the financial decision, because at this point, your husband and wife, life partners, there's no consultation. Like, hey, can we buy? Okay.
No. Came home with okay, we've upgraded. Okay. Then from there, remember that now it's competition with people that are now
Have money.
like steps ahead of you. They've bought cars, they've bought houses, so he is now doing what? Playing catch up. By the time friends started buying boats, people were leveling up. Pressure is there. Because I remember I had my first miscarriage in 2019.
Was it beginning of the year, mid, or towards end?
Beginning of the year.
Beginning of the year. Well, I'm sorry for your loss.
I had a miscarriage. It didn't turn into a fuss or anything. Then life started happening. Remember then, it's now that I'm making sense of things that were happening. Then I was not even conscious. To me, it was just a miscarriage.
Yeah.
And
And
that
that's
was
it.
that.
Yeah.
Then I never felt pregnant after that. Maybe I'd skip a month, go on my periods again. Again, I don't know what's happening, Half of the miscarriages, I'm not even aware that this is what's happening. Then after that, 2019, beginning of the year, money is still slow, everybody's still leveling up, we are just getting by. Then there's a Sangoma woman that I met him with in his life.
Okay.
When I came into his life, he said he had known the woman for around 5 years, that it's a woman that he was told about in Nigeria prior to him traveling here, that he was going to reach here, he was going to meet this Sangoma woman. This was the woman who was going to show him how the whole ancestor and whatnot thing works. And I did meet the woman. Oh my God. Like, when I now think back to things that were happening, it's just a little much for me. Because when I met this woman, it's his Sangoma person. I'm Zulu, so it's not really a strange thing to me.
The Sangoma woman was what? Was she South African?
No, she was from Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Or is a Zimbabwean lady. So now with me meeting this, he would make sure that there's limitations to how I meet this woman or when.
You only meet her if he is aware of it or if he's around.
I can't even meet her on my own. If we go into her, we are going.
Okay.
Because I remember at the beginning, the first time I met this lady, he was telling her that there was a day that when we were still in Alberton, there was a day that I don't remember where we were coming from. But then when he tried opening the house, the key now broke onto the handle. Then he said that I'm the bad luck. I'm the reason that the key broke.
Or maybe your hands are the bad luck, honey. Okay.
Then that was when I now met this woman for the first time, because now he needed to check if I came with good karma or
which of this I feel like that
bad
also
luck.
No, but that's actually like a mind control game. So if you don't go, it's like, oh, you know what you brought here. You have to. Wow.
So that's how I met her. And I remember there was a time she was like to me, your guy, he's very dangerous, hey? You must be careful. So when I tried to like poke in, she changed the subject and I just left it with that pause, And mind you that I met them together.
Yeah.
So he's more of
questionable,
his person
really, like,
than
wow.
me. Then at that point, there was still the floods of girls. Then the more I tried to understand, what's this need of all these women? Like, I don't get it. Meanwhile, at home, this person is not even sexual, which is another thing that I couldn't understand. we'd have sex once a month or twice a month or none.
Meow. And
Meanwhile, there's this flat, like, I like, for me, it was so confusing. So the more we thought about this whole girls things, at a point he was like, no, it's part of things that they do with this woman, part of, I don't know what ritual. Like, when he explains things to you, he just gives you half and half things that you can't piece together. Because when I now try to understand, like, okay, what happens to these girls that you sleep with? He'll be like, no, it's just part of the things that this woman asked him to do.
So wait, like he would actually admit it to you that he is sleeping with these girls?
Yes.
But he would tell you that there's a reason for that. That
Yes,
maybe when
that
you shouldn't
can't-
worry about.
Yes.
You can't. Oh, wow.
So, for me, it didn't sit right. And there's no how that you can explain that you have to have floods of girls that you can't even explain what is it that you're doing with them. Then fine, got to a point where now we're fighting about this cheating thing back and forth. And then he was like, no, he's no longer doing all of those things. He has stopped with the whole women and stuff.
How many women would you say maybe throughout your marriage you had actually found him with?
Yo. Remember now that at times I'd go through his phone and whatnot. He was on TikTok. I'm saying TikTok, Tinder. So, Tinder.
Like maybe
That's-
over 50?
Yeah, I'd say more than that.
100?
Who knows at this point?
Sure. Okay.
So that 2019 was the time that we still went back to this woman. Things were just not working out for him as he wants. Then the woman said that it's because he's living with me, he hasn't done anything, that my ancestors are not happy with that. My father in particular is not happy with that because my dad was late by then. Then, yeah, we did the whole lobola thing.
When was that?
2019.
Okay.
2019, we did the lobola. He paid a portion of what the lobola was. And mind you that he's doing this to appease
Their ancestors so that things
Not
can
like
go right.
he's
Not because he wants to do
doing-
right by you.
Yes. Which later I now started telling his friends that I used juju on him to marry me and I've just always been after his money. Money, where was the money when we started?
When you were Johnny Walker?
I don't understand. So fine, that's the notion. And the one thing with him, because part of the thing is I never understood why the friends hated me. Until now, I started being friends with the wives. Then I started hearing that the things he says
To them, and obviously they say, because they're
yes.
like, I don't want you around that woman. You know, she's
Yes.
this and that. This guy is.
So fine, guys started being warned, their wives started being warned to stay away from me. I'm a bad influence, I'm cheating. At a point I was even accused of sleeping with the Paki that are close, Pakistanis that sell groceries close to our house. It was a lot because people feel like there's this gold digger and whatnot. This guy wasn't giving me any money. In the years that I've been married with him, I've never even done groceries. I've never done groceries in my house, like here's money, go and do groceries, or here's money for the kids shopping. He does everything by himself.
But how is he buying food? Who's cooking then?
He cooks, I cook, but he does the house duties by himself.
So you would never go out, Mus? Because if he is even doing
No,
grocery,
he does the groceries. You guys make a list of what's not there, and he'll come back with everything, right down to your tampon.
did you ever ask him why?
We fought about it till I gave up on it. Because I couldn't understand. I would say to him, but I'm your wife. I don't even understand. It's like you're still just basically a bachelor. Mind you, at that time, I'm no longer working. I am solely dependent on him.
Okay, because I know you stayed in the hospital for over 3 months when you gave birth. Was that the reason, or there was another reason why you were not working?
That was the reason. And after that, even when I wanted to go back and do my own things, and he was like, no, he wants a stay-at-home wife. He doesn't want me having access to other men or other men. I don't know. There was a way his own brain functioned. So at that point now, I'm now really dependent on him. Now, started with getting rid of friends. Had something negative about my friends, something negative about my siblings, something negative about everyone. Meanwhile, with his friends, he's still the one bad-mouthing me. This woman is doing this to me. She's using muti. She's at a point, this guy called my parents, called my mom, my uncle, sat them down and told them that I was cheating on him, that he's done with the marriage, he doesn't want me anymore, I'm sleeping around. To my parents' face.
Did you ever cheat on him?
When? How?
What proof did he present for him to go to your parents?
The first time because there was a night that I found him in the toilet with my phone. I never had anything to hide on my phone. He knew my password. So I found him in the toilet in the middle of the night, going through my phone, and then he was like, yeah, he has finally gotten the proof that I've been cheating. Okay, where is this your proof? Then he went on my Facebook Messenger.
Of course, everyone is, my love, how are you? I love you.
Exactly.
You are gorgeous.
There's
Good morning, my queen.
Some that will send you dick pics and all of those things. Like,
you
Facebook
have no control
Messenger.
over that. I mean.
Then that was his proof. Then I still asked him, like, okay, where am I responding to these people? And mind you, he's opening messages of 2014, 2015, 2017. There's nothing even current. So that moves on. 2020, that's when we had our wedding ceremony, which was half Zulu tradition, half Nigerian tradition. And even on the wedding day, I remember, like, at this point, I was getting my makeup done, you know, because we did the whole Zulu tradition first, and then now I had to change into the Niger attire. So at that point, I was in the room doing my makeup, and when I was done and I was now about to walk in, he walked straight up to me and he was like, why am I embarrassing him? Like, his friends haven't gotten drinks and they haven't been served. Like, what? Like, that time we were still about to go up and go and do the I do. Because I remember at that time, a part of me just wanted to break down and cry. Like, he cursed me out in public.
What? I thought this was happening in the bedroom or something.
Which bedroom? I was walking at, remember that the whole ceremony was at my parents' house. Next door is the flat, so I was getting dressed there so I can do the entrance.
Yeah.
Right there on the road.
So people are watching him just...
Bridesmaids and everything behind me.
The shame I would have.
Still swallowed myself. Went, pastor came, they talked, they this, they that. Because at a point, like, no one will ever understand the psychological part of it. This person will never tell you, I'm wrong, will never admit to anything, or he will blatantly blame you.
For, like, you caused my reaction.
Like, you tell me, like, yeah, I'm cheating on you because you don't wash my boxes. Or I'm going to continue cheating on you because you just don't want to let it go. Or if you didn't go through my phone,
You wouldn't
wouldn't
have
be
found out.
stressing. If you just leave my phone alone, you'd be happier.
But now I want to find out, like, how did you walk again there to say I do to a man that just embarrassed you, like literally humiliated you in front of everyone?
You know, at a point you start making excuses. You start finding ways to make unreasonable thing reasonable. Okay, maybe he was just stressed. You know, it's a big day. Maybe the friends are pressurizing him. You know. And he's an image person. So if friends are already complaining that drinks, which means you didn't even have money for your wedding.
Wow.
You understand? So I just looked at it as maybe it's just the friends, you know? Then wedding happened. That soon passed. Nothing changed. He was still living his life. Then they had set up basic rules for me. I had a curfew. I had a time to... If I am saying I'm going to a friend's birthday, I have to be back at home by 8. Then if it goes longer than that 8, the max is 10. And for you to stay out till that 10,
You have
would
to have
called
communicated
prior,
Yeah.
and explained that, okay, I'm still going to be here.
And get
for this-
permission.
Yes, and get permission. I'm going to still be here for this long, or whatever the case may be. But you need to explain. Meanwhile, these rules are just for me.
You can come back at 4 a.m. and
Yes.
that's okay. Okay.
Yeah. Now, with the friends that he had, it was, some of them, it's people that are not home for a whole week or are at home on a Monday, the rest of the week they're gone and, you know. So, me asking for basic respect or basic appreciation was like a taboo. Like, can't you behave like other women? You're too stubborn. You don't want to listen. Because he's this person that if he tells you to sit here, you sit here.
Don't ask why.
Yes, don't ask questions. And that why is what used to get us into a lot of fights. Because I shouldn't ask why. He can wake up one morning and tell you, give me your ID. What do you want to do with it? What do you think I'm going to do with your ID?
I'm sorry.
And still go on and do whatever he wants to do.
Sure. What if he's going there to thief with your ID and now you are about to go to jail? Oh, I shame this marriage thing.
I'm telling you. So, I remember even when his permit came out, this guy would if I ask him, like, where are you going? Oh, you think now because your name is on my permit, you think you can control me? You think you can go and cancel it if you wanted to? And that went on to a point that I asked him, like, bruh, it's like you hate me for helping you. I don't understand. If you resent me so much for getting the permit, why not remove me and put the person that you're going to be comfortable with? Because I've not for once in any fight brought up your permit. Yet you throw it at my face like I did something wrong. So he do countermeasures. You understand? Anything that... There's nothing that you can ask me that I can't give you his response.
Were you happily married?
I can't say happily married. There were trophy moments. Moments like whatever he wants at that time, he'll be nice.
Okay.
At that time. Then once that is over and done with, goes back to the normal person.
Usually, when someone is abusive, what they usually do is that the good times are extremely good, and then they give you a lot of bad times. But because of you have tasted the extremity of the goodness, you always think, okay, things will get back to that good. Maybe was he someone that was like that, a roller coaster?
Roller coaster is an understatement. The good moments are so short. They are so short. Like, remember that this person, you can't say they are wrong in anything. You can't even complain about how he's driving. If you almost bash the car, he's cursing out that other party. Meanwhile, you are sitting in the car and
You can see.
you were the one who was wrong. And he'll still fight you. You'll be like, why are you always favoring other people? I'm always the one in the wrong. It's like you have a personal problem with me. If he's driving, you need to beg him, like, can you please just slow down? We'll get to
where we're going. And would he? Sometimes. Okay.
Depending on
whatever is happening.
And the mood at that point in time.
Well, you came in with a very beautiful car. It's a Range Rover. I've also seen a picture of you with a Porsche. Please tell me, when did the money then start rolling in for you guys to can afford to buy, such expensive cars? And
okay. So the car, the Land Rover, I got it while I was pregnant.
Okay.
Bought me the Land Rover when I was pregnant. Bought the Porsche, I think a couple of weeks after I bought the Land Rover. Remember, at this point, I've been using the Mitsubishi. I was driving a Mitsubishi before, which we got into an accident with in 2020.
Who was driving?
He was.
It seems like he gets into accidents, hey?
He got into an accident with it, I think it was a month before our wedding. He drove a Mitsubishi into a Land Rover.
And he had to fix that Land Rover as well.
Oh, guys, sometimes when I try and think back to things. So when that happened, he had spent money on the whole wedding thing and whatnot, and the person that he hit was asking for some ridiculous amount of money. So negotiated right down to 20K, which I was the one who paid the other party's car.
Wow.
And still got the Mitsubishi fixed.
Where did you get the money? Were you saving money when you were together? Okay, so you would, whatever
No. Remember when I had a whole life prior
before
to him? Yeah, so I still had a little bit of savings with me. Because I remember when in 2019, this guy came to me and he's like, he's getting me a saloon, this, that. He wants me to be doing something, keeping busy. At that point, he had around 35K that I gave to him. Help me hold this money, So when he got the saloon, bought the saloon, I think for 25,000. Yeah, 25,000. The saloon was in Roastingville. But it's upgraded what was in... It was a saloon before, so we just upgraded furniture and stocked up. Even then, we're renting out chairs in the saloon. He was collecting the rent. Hair sales, whatever, the money was going to him.
Would you be at the salon?
Yeah, I have to be there.
And I'm sure he would pop up anytime to make sure he's checking.
I'm just there as an image, Nje. I'm looking after his investment. Because I remember, 2019, that was the saloon. 2020 came around, it was COVID. Saloons were closed for the longest time. By the time we came out of COVID, we had to close the saloon. The rent was 7.5, and they wanted the rent for all those months as is. It was too much. So we closed up the saloon. We put all the things in the garage. Later when he started telling people that I'm a money squanderer, he opened a business for me that I couldn't even manage that. That just goes to show how useless I am.
Yet he was the one still collecting all the money.
I am telling you. Even when he now opened the whole saloon, finished, I remember when I asked him for part of the money. I don't remember what I wanted to do for my daughter then. I asked him for part of the money and he was like, where do you think the money for the saloon came from?
But then, because obviously when he met you already had your daughter, was he, did he understand that you were now both financially responsible for the child?
No.
Eh?
To your child, it's your responsibility. I will do things if and when I feel like. You'd say it straight to your face.
Wow.
It's not my responsibility.
And I think that's so sick, hey? Especially because he knows that your daughter's father passed. So it's not like, oh, I'm here struggling with another man's child whilst he's out there living his life.
I remember the first time that I attempted to stay with my daughter. This guy said he doesn't want me to live with her. He doesn't want issues. What if me and my daughter set him up and say he raped her? He has seen all of these stories. The first time I tried to stay with my daughter, it didn't work out because even my mom was against it. She was like, it's just going to complicate things. So even that first time, if we were fighting or anything, he'd lash out. There's times that he would go to my daughter's room in the middle of the night. Do you know your mother is a whore? Do you know your mother is going around sleeping around with men? I took you in. I took you and your mother in. And this is the thanks that I'm getting. Am I not treating you guys right?
But, no, that's a lot, hey. I mean, I'm not a biological mom, but
when my daughter, the first time she told me about it, I was so angry, and I went up to him and I asked him, like, why would you do that? Like why do you have to be so nasty? Who says that to a child?
Was this man ever physical with you?
There were moments here and there, but I can't necessarily call him an abuser.
Has he ever laid his hand on you?
Yes.
Then he is an abuser. He is an abuser because most of the times, or let me say all the time, any man that actually lays his hand on a woman, he wants to instill fear. So you are unable to do certain things, not because you're not smart enough or not because you can't, but because you are afraid. If he has done it first, and the way you are talking, he has trained you to believe that, well, he's not an abuser because he will give you a reason. But there's no reason for someone to lay their hands on you. He is actually an abuser if he has ever laid his hand on you, and you don't deserve that. I'm so sorry that you've had to go through that.
Yeah. You know, by the time I kind of got to a place of questioning my own sanity, because that's one thing he's very skilled at. He will make you question your own reality.
Yeah.
You can argue with him right now, and he will flip the whole script on you. Everything that he did, it's now what you are doing. If you call him out on cheating, you are the cheater. If you call him out on his behavior, you are the one who's... he would tell me that I'm not home trained. I wasn't raised well.
Was he?
You know,
but obviously you can't ask that. Because whether you want to...
I keep on telling his friends that I got to a point where I started recording this guy so I can listen to when I said what, or what did he say, or what was the argument about. Because one thing with him, if you guys are fighting, he wants you to be the one to tell him everything. You must talk first. You'll be there, you will pour out your whole mind and heart. Then everything that you said, he'll be like, but you're the one who's like this.
Okay, so now let's get to the unfortunate passing of your daughter.
Okay, so I got pregnant in 2022. 2022, pregnancy was hard. I think my first trimester was the worst because he was just an awful person. And then it's my first trimester, morning sickness, everything is on 100. I couldn't eat anything. Everything smelled awful. He wasn't understanding. At that point, he was cursing me out for being too lazy, for being dramatic. If I'm having morning sickness, I'm just seeking attention. And if I'm sleeping, that's irritating him that I'm sleeping. That's all that I do. That's all that I know is to be sleeping. He'd get angry that you're on your phone. Meanwhile, I'm in the room, you're sleeping in the sitting room. How am I disturbing your peace? Like, his main job was to make sure that I am miserable 24 hours. Like, don't be smiling. Don't be too excited. Don't be too happy. So when I got pregnant with my daughter, that first trimester was a nightmare. At a point, he was reporting me to friends, reporting me to anybody that will give him a listening ear. I think I'm special. Am I the first woman to ever get pregnant? I've got too much drama. Fine. Pregnancy went on. Then, in between the pregnancy, okay, he had his moments.
Sweet moments, yeah.
His little moments there. That's when he changed the car. I think I was around 7 or 8 months when he got me the Range Rover. Gave birth to my daughter 2023 January. January, on the 20th of January. January, February, March. Now, when I gave birth to my daughter, South African system changed. Now, came to the part where we need to go and do her birth certificates. And then, like, okay, things have changed now. You need to do a DNA test first before you can put his name on his birth certificate. Sharp. So we go and do. They give you a specific place to go and do the DNA. So we went they gave us a date. We called. We went. We paid. We did the DNA test today. My daughter passed away the following day. So went for the DNA test. We came back home. Baby was fine. Baby is okay. Slept with her overnight. My sister is there. House help is there. You understand? So normally what I would do, I'd sleep with the baby, then my sister would come and take her in the morning, then I would get some time to sleep. So on that day, I slept with my daughter, woke up, was chilling with my sister, with her. We were sitting, she ate, breastfeeded her, she went back to sleep, went to go and put her in her room. This was probably around 9 in the morning. When it was about approaching an hour, you just be going back and forth, checking up on the baby. Then my sister stood up, went to go and check on baby. Then I just hear my sister shouting. When I heard that, that's when I went to the baby's room. And she was just looking a little purplish, Then I'm trying to resuscitate, we're trying to call him, because he had just stepped out of the house. I now call him, he drives back to the house, we take baby to the hospital. I have never prayed so much in my life on the way to the hospital. Get to the hospital, net came. They trying to see if there's anything that they can be done. So eventually the doctors come out and baby is gone. I don't know. At a point, I just zoned out. By then, his friends were there. My family was there. Friends were there. Then there's one lady that I was friends with, a Nigerian woman. So on that day, she called the pastor that she knows in Nigeria. She called and trying to figure out, like, what happened. So she was like, no, she just spoke to the pastor. This thing wasn't an ordinary thing. It's an arrow that was sent from Nigeria. This whole thing was done by a woman. Fine, I hear the whole thing, but,
Should I get you a tissue? Okay.
Yeah.